Have you ever wondered why God doesn't step in and fix something? I mean, if God is as all-powerful as he's supposed to be, why not? Can you imagine the messed up things that would be straightened out if God stepped in instead of leaving us to sort out the mess? Fun. My name is Ian Currey and this is Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. Last time I told you about living in the middle of a 100-mile golf cart path system. A number of you asked all sorts of questions about how that works. Do you need a license? How fast do they go? What happens at night? Do they have lights? Are they allowed on the roads too? Well, I suppose I'd better answer a few of those lovely questions, hadn't I? Some of the rules are a little unusual, but no, you don't need a license. How fast do they go? Well, most of them are powered by batteries, and there is a requirement that there is an electronic system to restrict the speed to no more than 20 miles an hour. Honestly, that 20 miles an hour feels faster than that because the paths are so very narrow, and I'm sure they could do quite some damage even at that speed. Are they allowed on the roads too? That's a more complicated question, but yes. But there are a whole lot of rules about that. Mostly the carts stick to their own special paths. How old do you have to be to drive one? That's another good question. 12 years old is the youngest you can be, but then you have to have a parent sitting up front with you. At 15, you can drive alone if you have a driving permit. And that's a bit like a provisional license in Europe. At 16, you can drive without a license all you like. In fact, the local high school has a special parking lot, especially for the hundreds of carts the students drive to school every day. What do you do at night? Do the carts have lights? Yes, they do have lights, but mostly don't have indicators. But that's okay because nobody knows how to use those anyway here. The lights are a good indication of how soon you need to charge your cart's batteries too. As they dim, you know it's time to go home or you'll end up stranded. Mostly the cart paths are not used very much when it's dark. They do have lights, but not like street lighting. Recently we had a big thunderstorm here, and during that something went wrong and the lights around the lake and along the path close to us stopped working. Nobody really bothered much because really nobody much is out there when it's dark. So for several days the lights were out. Well, not quite out. Every few seconds one would flash or flicker, then the next and another and another. And because we were able to see right down the lake from our house after dark, the lights all flickering and flashing made quite a show. Once I saw it, I wondered why they were all flickering in the same way. I had to think for a minute or two and realized that the lamps had recently been changed from the old orange sodium vapor lights to new white LED lights. I'd seen the electricians working on the lights when they were put in and had noticed the wiring system they were using. Now that the lights were giving us a flickering light show each evening, and having been there when the system was installed, I knew what the problem would be. I guessed that the neutral bonding point would have broken. Certainly if lightning had hit anything over there, that would be the first place I'd be looking. With that link missing, volts would appear across the other connections, but as soon as a lamp tried to light, it would draw down the voltage balance point and would immediately go out again. Yep, That's what it had to be. As each light tried to light, exactly the same thing would happen all around the lake. Yesterday, as I took Sparky for a walk around the lake, I noticed two men down a hole inspecting the electrical feed system. One said to the other, that's weird. There's volts across there, but the lights aren't coming on. The other man looked puzzled and asked, "Did you check the neutral?" I smiled, said nothing, and kept walking. As I settled down to eat dinner last night, I noticed the lights around the lake were shining brightly, as if nothing had ever been wrong with them. So why do I tell you this mundane Mr. Know-it-all story? Let's see. Let's assume that I'd been out there as soon as the trucks pulled up. And let's say I'd gone right up to the technician and said, "Thanks for coming to fix the lights. Your neutral bonding point is broken. If you put in another one, those there lights will work perfectly." Or better yet, if I'd called the maintenance department and instead of just saying the lights around the lake aren't working, had given them my analysis of what was wrong, what do you think they would have said? Certainly, I wouldn't likely to have been taken seriously. The receptionist on the phone would have probably wondered what on earth I was talking about. And the technicians, at best, would have likely said, "We've got it." Despite being 100% right, and despite diagnosing the fault without even leaving the house, I'd done nothing at all to help the repair. I didn't even bother calling the city maintenance people. They're quite capable of noticing the lights were not working and equally capable of figuring out what was wrong. The technicians had all the resources they needed, all the skills and training, and even when one of them didn't immediately figure it out, his co-worker asked the right questions to point him in the right direction. Me interfering was not only unnecessary, it would have actually been unhelpful. In just the same way, let's look at our problems from the point of view of God. There he is, having a lovely time admiring creation and being proud of his children, and one of them has a blip. Oh dear, look at that. Someone's having a rough time. Now, God could instantly jump in and sort things out. He could remove the issue and we'd never notice and just go on with our lives as if nothing had happened. I mean, didn't Jesus say, "Be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age"? So why then do we find ourselves praying, "God be with me"? And why did David say, "Oh Lord, how long will you forget me? Forever? How long will you look the other way?" I must say that sounds all too familiar sometimes, doesn't it? David, though, isn't done. He's a character I can easily identify with. He bounces back and forth with his faith and trust, but ultimately gets it most of the time. Just a few pages further on, we once again find David expressing how he thinks. This time, rather than accusing God of not being a part of the details he wants fixed and ignoring him, he says, "The heavens proclaim the glory of God. The skies display his craftsmanship. Day after day, they continue to speak. Night after night, they make him known. They speak without a sound or word. Their voice is never heard." The technicians fixing the lights had all the tools they needed. They had all the training and experience. They had everything required and had been equipped to complete the task in front of them, however difficult it was to diagnose. Our situation is so similar to that too, isn't it? Working by God's principles, doing the right thing first time every time, following Jesus' teaching, and loving our neighbours doesn't require God to intervene. He already did that. We have what we need to do what we need to do. The trick, of course, is putting what we know into practice. Put another way, again, trying to look at it from God's perspective, I've given you all you need to solve this. You know what to do. You know the answer to your problem. Now get on and do the right thing instead of complaining, I'm not doing it all for you. The commandments of the Lord are clear, giving insight for living. Until next time, goodbye.